on? It's Friday, 11:30 in the morning. I'm here at the Hidden Valley Trailhead and I'm doing my final run before Red Hot tomorrow. I thought I would just bring the camera, see what we got going on, but aiming for about 6.5 miles, just keeping the effort super chill, just out here to have a good time and just kind of do some visualization for race day tomorrow. Get a gel in my stomach and yeah, just enjoy the day. So without further ado, let's go hop on one of my favorite trails here in Moab. So just wrapped up with dinner and I am up at the hotel room. I am going to be perfectly honest with you. I am exhausted. It is just shy of 7:30, but man, I am so tired. So I'm kind of excited that I'm actually sleepy because hopefully that means I'll be able to sleep through the night. And I think I'm so tired that I literally can't even get stressed out or worked up about this race. That to be said, I do have everything all laid out. So bib, we are number 1081. And then I know I discussed this recently in a fueling video, but I am going to be fueling with the Science in Sport beta gels. These are 160 calories and 40 grams of carbs. So I don't know, I think they're really tasty. I think the texture is really easy to get down. I am bringing a total of 7 Science in Sport beta gels, and then I have a GU salted watermelon to supplement. Figuring that I'm going to be taking about 6 hours to run this race. If I take a gel every 45 minutes, I'll be looking at about 8 gels total, hence why I'm supplementing with a salted watermelon. This does have 20 milligrams of caffeine in it. However, if I'm feeling ambitious or I do have an appetite, I do have 2 kinds of gummies. I have the Precision 30 carb chew in the mint and lemon chews, and then the Cliff black cherry, which has 50 milligrams of caffeine per serving, 100 milligram for the whole sleeve. And then I also have to supplement a Sturka rice bar. If I'm running and I get really hungry, usually a Sturka bar or gummies are just great options for me. So I figure I can just kind of put those in, maybe not in my front pouches, but just somewhere in the vest. I have these little singlets of the BPN electrolytes. I thought it would just be nice to have these ready to go. Easily can rip them open and throw them in my bottle if need be. Some other gear going in the pack is some sunscreen. We are running in the desert, so good to have that, as well as some Aquifer lip balm with sunscreen in it, my Garmin InReach, and then this is just a little power source, and then I have 2 kinds of cables in there, and then just a little collapsible reusable cup. So that's what's going in my vest. As far as clothing goes, I'll just kind of talk about that when I get ready in the morning. As far as everything else goes, I'm feeling pretty good. Feeling honestly really relaxed, really tired. So my plan is to get a good night of sleep, wake up in the morning. I have some blueberry muffins, have some coffee, drink some water, drink some electrolytes, and just try to stay relaxed, stay calm, and hopefully start the morning out on a good, positive, just chill note. Otherwise, I'm gonna just work on charging everything and getting myself to bed so I can hopefully feel much more rested when I wake up tomorrow. I'll see you guys here in the morning. Okay. Oh my god. All right. Oh my god. So race morning. We had some coffee and did a little bit of journaling, but now we're dressed, we're ready, we're about to get out of here. Chandler helped me get my race chip on my shoe. Today I'm wearing the La Sportiva Prodigios. I really love these shoes. I wore them for, not these particular pair, but I wore them for Never Summer. Really good on rocks, so I figured they'll be really good on today's course. I don't have my shoes on yet, but I'm gonna lube up my toes and throw them in some socks, and we'll put the shoes on. And then I'm gonna eat a muffin and we're gonna get out of here. But for today, I have on a sun chaser hoodie. I figure it's probably easiest. Last year I wore a little crop top and I ended up getting a sunburn on my back, and that rectangle still lives on my back to this day. So the sun chaser hoodie, just really nice. It's gonna be, I think, mid-50s, so eliminates the need to worry about sunscreen on my upper extremities, which is really nice. And I can throw the hood on at any point. And then for bottoms, we have the pace short, the 5-inch pace short. I really like these. I'll probably throw my phone in the pocket, which is nice and deep. So if you're interested in checking out any of today's race apparel, you can click the link in the description, use my code MountainHighLife for 10% off your order. And otherwise, I think we're just gonna continue getting ready and make our way over to the start line. Okay. We're throwing on a little biodegradable glitter. I know it seems excessive, it kind of is, but in all fairness, I like it because one, it makes you feel cute when you're actually not feeling too cute. And then also, the fun thing about it is it's like a nice little reminder not to take yourself too seriously and not to take this race too seriously, because it doesn't freaking matter. And then also I put some on my thighs because I feel really dull. I can look down and be like, oh, okay, you're still shining. So wear glitter, do it. Races aren't that serious. It's more fun anyways. Chandler's giving me the most judgmental stare right now, but that's okay. Girl's gonna do what she wants to.
Understand.
Girl's gonna do what she wants to do. We're shining. 2025. Moab red hot. I don't even know, where do I start?
Well, how do you think, as far as your fitness level, as well as the overall course, markings being different, that kind of thing?
So in comparison from last year, as far as fitness goes, definitely have more consistent mileage every week going into the race. However, last year at this time, I was doing longer long runs. Like I believe the weekend before the race last year, I stupidly did a 50K. And I think at that time last year, that kind of was a sense of relief of, oh, I can run, 31 miles. I know I can do a 55K. Whereas this year, my longest long run going into the race was, I think, 21 miles. But it just goes to show that you don't necessarily have to run the distance of your race or course to be able to do said race or course and perform well. But like I said, overall weekly mileage, I think I was averaging maybe 40 miles, 40 to 45 miles last year. And now I'm closer to the 55, 60 mile a week range. And I think that was perfect for me and what I wanted to achieve. All in all, I feel the course was better marked this year. The course was exactly how I remembered it. But I feel like this year, knowing it a little bit better, I was able to enjoy some of the views and scenery a little bit more rather than just being completely mentally focused in on the race and pace and how everything was going. I was able to relax and enjoy it a little bit more. I know I had mentioned kind of starting easy, going into that first loop pretty relaxed and chill, and it was definitely a fight against my ego to want to run a little bit faster. I think seeing a lot of other people kind of go pretty quick into, even the first 5 miles of that race, I really wanted to run faster, but I just knew what was in store and I knew it would pay off in the back end of things. All right, 4 miles, 40 minutes in, time for our first gel. About to be rolling into our first aid station, keeping it pretty chill. It's nice and cool this morning, which is really nice. But for the most part, fairly moderate, chill effort. Just trying to keep it reeled in. All right, just shy of 11 miles in. Last year at this section, I remember being like, uh-oh, did I start out too fast? Just hiking, fueling, feeling okay. Just gonna focus in, have a good time. So, I would say it was a lot of suppression of that ego, kind of driving me to run faster in that first lap, but did really good with fueling. Every 40 minutes I had an alert reminding me to take a gel, which I did, and I stayed right on top of that, and I was pretty stoked. I think that's the best fueling I've ever done in an ultra, which leaves me really hopeful for the remainder of 2025. And I just kept in mind, you know, the better I fuel now, the better I'll feel in that second lap. And going into that second lap, I distinctly remember there was this one slick rock climb last year where I had this realization probably around mile 21 where I was like, oh no. Oh no, I messed up. I started out way too fast and there's still a good amount of this race left. And it was just really not super fun for probably 8 miles there last year. But this year, getting to that point, I felt so strong. I had so much energy and strength in my legs that I rocked that climb. 21.4 miles. We're crushing. We're feeling good. Feeling good and feeling good. I probably moved up 5 positions in that second lap, which is kind of crazy, and I think that just comes with knowledge of the course. The only thing that I really struggle with that course, and I think it's just the course itself, and I know last year there's like in the second loop this weird out and back, and it's on slick rock, but it's about, I would guess the whole section, well, the out and back is 4 miles, but the whole section that I'm about to talk about is like 6 to 8 miles long. I don't really recall exactly when it started and when it ended, but it's like this off-camber slick rock. So despite your feet kind of being at an angle, it's kind of like your foot in the shoe slides, and I don't think it has anything to do with footwear. I think it's just the terrain, because essentially it would be like running on off-camber cement for 8 miles. Last year there was not really any great markings, and it's just kind of weird. It would be like running on just an open wide road without any markings or trail and trying to figure out where to go. But this year there was much more painted lines, so it was a lot easier to follow. Didn't feel quite as lost except at the turnaround point, which I don't think was really well marked, but otherwise kind of coming out of that I felt good. Last 5 miles, my hips felt a little tight, but it was just like, you know, I felt like I had reserved enough to feel really strong going into that second lap, and then kind of getting, you know, within that last 10K of finishing, I was giving everything I had, and I feel like I gave everything I had and could for that day, which is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, so. You definitely look like you finished a lot stronger this year. You were moving.
Yeah.
You were cranking out sub 8 minute mile at the end, which is really good.
Which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, moving super strong. Vibe was a little bit different. It's not like a typical kind of race vibe where there's so many people around cheering and stuff. It's kind of like, since there's only one place to spectate and or see the runners, which is the start and finish line, the morale for the race is a little bit different, a little bit lower than you would kind of expect or perhaps want at a race. So that takes a little bit of getting used to, whereas other races everybody's so hyped and there's all kind of energy, so the energy is a lot lower, which is something definitely different with this race setup. For sure, kind of people are just there seeing the runner, then they're leaving, so the finish line, the start line, there's not that many spectators, which is a little bit unusual, at least for me.
I would agree. Yeah. I would totally agree. I think it's the setup of the course, and I really do respect the fact that Mad Moose is mindful of the land that the course takes place on, but it's a much different vibe than a lot of races I've participated in and Chandler's been in and around. So, you know, if you are interested in doing this, I can't speak for all Mad Moose events. This is the only one I've ever done, but it is very interesting because I know I've mentioned it. There's no spectators on the course. There's no crew on the course. Actually, if you do have any spectators or like your people anywhere out on the course, it is grounds for disqualification. So it is a much different vibe, and I know I've mentioned that there's aid station 1, 3, and 5 are all this like central point, and that's the most populated aid station. Otherwise, it's just aid station 2 and 4 are like a Jeep aid station where it's very minimal, and it's just kind of one guy who drove his Jeep out and set up an aid station in the middle of nowhere. So it's kind of a bit of a different vibe, but not necessarily a bad thing, just different. And perhaps you get that true being out in the middle of the desert vibe. if that's kind of what you're going for.
Do you think you accomplished your goal that you set out for, or at least were coming close to what you wanted from this race, as far as it being a training race, not being a priority race? And on top of that, I mean, are you happy with your result?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think of course, like in my runner brain, at a certain point, you know, you kind of can see and start doing math in your head where you're like, ooh, maybe I can hit that, you know, a goal for the race, where I kind of got to a point where I was like, you know, I might be able to make 5 hours 45 minutes happen, or go like sub 5 hour 50 minute. And that didn't happen, but I'm really stoked because ultimately I wanted to go sub 5 hour 55 minute, and that's exactly what I did. Not by much, but it still happened, so I'm really proud of that. I really wanted to feel strong finishing that race, and I think, like I said, for everything that I wanted, which was to stay a little bit conservative in that first loop and hit that second loop feeling strong and fueled, and really be able to make that last 2,700 feet of climbing feel good. That's exactly what I did, and did really good with my fueling. So I would say all in all, it was a success, and
Let's speed up.
Far less beat up.
Yeah, you were limping through town after.
Last year I
we were able
was
to hang out.
Yeah. Last year I was limping really not. I mean, I was limping. It was just, you know, that I was so sore and tight and stiff for that same, like after the race, as well as the following day. I would say even 2 days after, because we tried to run, I think it's called Devil's Garden in Arches National Park, and I was just hurting. And yesterday, I mean, I felt fine. I mean, I felt a little tired, maybe a little stiff, but nothing out of the usual, which leads me to think that my fueling was good, my recovery process was good, and my fitness is good, which is really exciting. And it leaves me really excited to start doing those longer runs more consistently as we kind of start thinking much more about 100-mile training. It was a confidence booster, you know? I think it was a big confidence booster going into this next bit of training, going into the next unknown race distance.
You're just motivated to stick with the plan, which I think is key at the end of the day.
I would say, yeah, you know, all in all, really successful. I don't think there's really anything I would change as far as this race goes. I think everything worked out just beautifully, and like I said, just really motivated to kind of set my sights on the future and push the boundaries and just continue to learn more about myself and ultras. And all that to be said, I think that's going to do it for the 2025 Moab Red Hot little recap. So
I just need to get in shape to pace you, because that run yesterday about killed me. We didn't do anything.
He rocked it. So all that to be said, if you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it might just be like a modge podge of just everything related to the race, but really stoked with how that went. I hope, you know, if you took anything away from it, it's just that go out there, have fun. Don't worry about the results. You know, set a goal for yourself, but ultimately just go out and enjoy the course. Stop and take a photo. Eat some good fueling, or get some good fueling and good nutrition in, and just don't forget to enjoy yourself. And even if that means saving a little bit for the end so you can go a little bit faster, because that's always a little fun. Thank you again to John G for partnering with me. Don't forget to click the link in the description. Go check them out. They have some great spring apparel that was just dropped. I just did a little haul myself, so I will be sharing my haul here soon. So all that to be said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I hope you get out on some trail today, and I'll see you in my next adventure. Bye!